Welcome to the Murder Maze. Today, we'll take a deep dive into the chilling story of Dennis Rader, better known as BTK, bind, torture, kill. For over 30 years, Rader lived in plain sight, a man who seemed harmless, yet behind closed doors, he was committing horrific murders. How did this predator manage to hide his true nature for so long? Join me as we unravel the mystery behind one of the most terrifying serial killers in American history. Dennis Lynn Rader was born on March 9, 1945, in Pittsburgh, Kansas. A man who outwardly appeared to be an upstanding citizen, Rader lived in the city of Wichita, Kansas, with his wife and children. He held a steady job, worked as a compliance officer for a local company, and was active in his church and even as a leader of a Boy Scout troop. But while his life seemed mundane, Rader harbored dark, violent fantasies that would later spiral into deadly actions. From an early age, Rader displayed signs of his dark desires. He had a fascination with bondage, voyeurism, and control. As a teenager, Rader would often fantasize about capturing and torturing women. He later admitted to fantasizing about strangling and sexually assaulting victims, feelings that would eventually push him to act out these fantasies. BTK murdered 10 people between 1974 and 1991 in Wichita, Kansas, and its surrounding areas. 1. The Otero family, January 15, 1974. Victims: Joseph Otero, Julie Otero, Josephine Otero, Joseph Otero Jr. Rader broke into the Otero family's home early in the morning. He tied up all 4 family members and strangled them one by one. He killed the parents first, then the children. 11-year-old Josephine was hanged in the basement after being tortured. Rader later admitted that her death gave him a, end quote, sexual thrill, end quote. This was his first known crime, and it set the tone for his future killings. 2. Catherine Bright, April 4, 1974. Rader broke into Catherine's home and waited for her to return. When she arrived with her brother Kevin, Rader tied them both up. Kevin tried to fight back but was shot twice. Catherine was stabbed multiple times and later died in the hospital. Kevin survived and provided a description of the attacker, but it wasn't enough to identify Rader. 3. Shirley Vian, March 17, 1977. Rader targeted Shirley after randomly selecting her house. When he entered, her 3 children were home. He locked the children in the bathroom before binding and strangling Shirley. He left quickly, fearing that someone might have seen him entering the house. The children survived. 4. Nancy Fox, December 8, 1977. Rader broke into Nancy's home and waited for her to return. He confronted her, tied her up, and strangled her. He later called the police himself to report the murder, a move that highlighted his desire for attention and recognition. 5. Maureen Hedge, April 27, 1985. Maureen was a neighbor of Rader. He broke into her home, strangled her, and took her body to his church, where he posed it in various positions for photographs. This murder was particularly chilling as it showed how Rader used his trusted position in the community for his crimes. 6. Vicki Wegerle, September 16, 1986. Rader posed as a telephone repairman to enter Vicki's home. Once inside, he tied her up and strangled her with a nylon stocking. He also took photographs of her body. For years, her murder remained unsolved until DNA evidence linked Rader to the crime. 7. Dolores Davis, January 19, 1991. Dolores was Rader's final known victim. He broke into her home through a sliding glass door, bound her, and strangled her to death. Like in other cases, he took trophies from the crime scene as mementos. His killings followed a consistent pattern. He would stalk his victims, whom he called, end quote, projects, end quote, winky face, break into their homes, and bind them before torturing and killing them. Rader took items like jewelry, clothing, or photos from his victims as souvenirs to relive the crimes later. Rader sent letters to police and media, detailing his murders and taunting them for their inability to catch him. These letters often included poems, drawings, or cryptic messages. He wanted to be admired, wanted to be seen as someone clever and beyond the reach of the law. These letters, full of riddles and puzzles, would help solidify his nickname, BTK. The BTK letters, a signature of terror. Rader's need for attention grew as he continued his killing spree. He sent multiple letters to local authorities and the media, each time teasing the police with details about his murders and leaving behind clues. The most infamous of these letters came in 1978, when he mailed a package that included a poem and a description of his latest killings. He signed it, BTK. For years, these letters were the only connection to the killer. Police were baffled, unable to identify the writer, and the case grew cold. Yet Rader continued, hidden in plain sight, as if daring the world to find him. A break in the case, the 2004 communication. Despite the ongoing investigation, Rader went quiet for several years. But in 2004, he once again made the fatal mistake of contacting the police. He sent a letter to a local newspaper, communicating his desire to relive the crimes. This time, however, Rader made a critical error. He sent a floppy disk with his letter, hoping it would be overlooked. This mistake would be his downfall. The disk was traced back to a computer in Rader's own name, leading police straight to him. Dennis Rader, the man who had evaded capture for over 3 decades, was ARR. When Rader was arrested, his calm demeanor and apparent normality shocked the public. The idea that this mild-mannered man, who had been a father, husband, and active community member, was behind such horrific crimes was unfathomable. He pled guilty to the murders of 10 people, including the Oteros, and was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. The trial was a grim reminder of the horrors Rader had unleashed on his victims and their families. His cold, detached responses and the way he described the murder sent shivers down the spine of everyone who listened. In the end, S. desire for recognition had led him to make the mistake that would seal his fate. Life after conviction, a chilling realization. Since his conviction, Rader has been incarcerated in Kansas, serving his life sentences in solitary confinement. But even in prison, he has continued to express his desire for recognition. He has written letters, detailing his crimes and seeking to maintain the fame he craved during his killing spree. His story serves as a warning. Some killers, like Rader, may never truly understand the gravity of their actions. Dennis Rader's case remains one of the most haunting examples of how a person can live a double life. His story shows that serial killers can blend in with society, hiding in plain sight while committing horrific acts behind closed doors. His legacy isn't just the terror he caused, but the chilling realization that evil can be closer than we think. The case of Dennis Rader teaches us several valuable lessons. First, it reminds us that not everything is as it seems. People we trust, people we know, may harbor dark secrets. Second, it shows us the importance of paying attention to the signs and the power of persistence in law enforcement. Sometimes, even the most elusive criminals will make a mistake, and that's when justice prevails.
I manually strangled her when she started to scream.
So you used your hands?
Yes, sir.
And you strangled her? Did she die?
Yes.
All right, what did you do then?
After that, since I was in the sexual fantasy, I went ahead and stripped her, and probably went ahead and, I'm not sure if I tied her up at that point in time. But anyway, she was nude. I put her on a blanket, went through her purse, some personal items in the house, figured out how I was going to get her out of there. Eventually moved her to the trunk of the car. Took the car over to Christ Lutheran Church. This is with the older church. And took some pictures of her.
All right, you took some photographs. What kind of camera did you use?
Poor Lord.
Did you keep those photographs?
Yes, the police probably have them.
All right, what happened there?
That was it. She went through, I tied it, she was already dead, so I took pictures of her in different forms of bondage. And that's probably what got me in trouble was the bondage thing. So anyway, that's probably the main thing. But anyway, after that, I moved her back out to the car, and then we went east on 53rd.
All right, what occurred then?
Sir?
What happened then?
Trying to find a place to hide her, hide the body.
Did you find a place?
Yes, yes I did.
Where?
Couldn't tell you without looking at a map, but it was on 53rd, between Greenwich, maybe. What's the other one between Greenwich? Webb. I think between Webb and Greenwich, I found a ditch, a low place on the north side of the road, and hit her there.
All right, you say you hit her there.
Well, there were some trees, some brush, and I laid that over the top of her body.
All right, so you removed the body from the car, put her in the ditch, and then laid some brush over the body.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir, in count 9, it is claimed on or about the 16th day of September 1986 in Sedgwick County, Kansas, that you unlawfully killed a human being, Vicki Wegerle, maliciously, willfully, deliberately, and with premeditation by strangulation, inflicting injuries from which said Vicki Wegerle did die on September 16th, 1986. Can you tell me what you did here in Sedgwick County on that day that makes you believe you are guilty?
Again, Vicki Wegerle was another potential victim. I went through those different phases, locked in on her, as I would call it, and decided that I would try that date. I used a Roos as a telephone repairman to get in their house. Drove there in my own personal car around lunchtime, during lunch hour, or approximately that time. It was earlier in the morning than that. And I actually went somewhere else and changed my clothes, what I call my hit clothes. And
Hit clothes?
Hit clothes, basically different, things that I'd need to get rid of later. Not the same kind of clothes that I had on. I don't know what other better word to use it, crime clothes or hit clothes. I just call them hit clothes. Anyway, I walked from my car as a telephone repairman. As I walked there, I donned the telephone helmet. I had a briefcase. Went to one other address just to kind of size up the house. I'd walked by it a couple times, but I wanted to check it a little bit more. As I approached it, I could hear a piano sound. And went to this other door, knocked on them, and told them we were recently working on telephone repairs in the area. And went to her and knocked on the door and asked her if I could come check her telephone lines inside.
Did she allow you in?
Yes, she did.
What happened then?
Went over and found out where the telephone was, simulated that I was checking the telephone. I had a make-believe instrument, and after she was looking away, I drew a pistol at her and asked her if she'd go back to the bedroom with me.
Was this the same .357 Magnum you used?
No, this was a different one.
Different pistol. Or you asked her to go back to the bedroom with you after drawing a pistol on her?
Yes, sir.
What happened then?
I told her, we went back to the bedroom, I told her I was going to have to tie her up. She was very upset, and I think I used some material that was in, and that's another thing, I'm not sure, but I think I used the material that they had in their bedroom, and after I tied her hands, she broke that and we started fighting, and we fought quite a bit, back and forth.
All right, she was physically fighting you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
What happened then?
Finally got the hand on her and got a nylon sock and started strangling.
So you wrapped the stocking around her neck?
Yes.
What happened then?
I finally gained on her and put her down, and I thought she was dead, but apparently she wasn't. But after she was down and not moving anymore, I rearranged her clothes a little bit and took some quick photos. I think 3 of them, if I remember. And then after that, there was a lot of commotion. She had mentioned something about her husband coming home, so I got out there pretty quick. The dogs were raising a lot of cane in the back. The doors and the windows were all open to the house. There was a lot of noise when we were fighting. So I left pretty quickly after that. Put everything in the briefcase and had her. I'd already gone through her purse and got the keys to the car and used her car for my getaway car.
All right, now you indicate that you thought that she was dead. Did you discover later that she was not dead?
Yes, I guess the paramedics arrived and they tried to attempt to revive her, and that failed. I don't know whether she died there or on the way to the hospital or at the hospital. I don't recollect.
But you later found out that she did die as a result of your strangulation.
Yes.
Now, sir, let's turn to count 10.
Thank you for watching The Murder Maze. If you found this case chilling, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of true crime. Stay alert, stay safe, and remember, sometimes monsters hide in plain sight.